Once there was a young man named Jack who lived a normal, mundane life. He worked as a clerk at a small convenience store and spent his free time playing video games and watching TV. One day, Jack began to notice strange things happening around him. He would see shadowy figures out of the corner of his eye, and he would hear strange whispers in his ear when he was alone. At first, he thought he was just imagining things, but as the occurrences became more frequent, he began to worry. One night, Jack was awoken from a deep sleep by a loud knock at his door. When he answered it, he found a group of demons standing on his doorstep. They told him that they had been sent to inhabit his body and use it as a vessel for their own evil purposes. Jack tried to resist, but he was no match for the powerful demons. They overpowered him and forced their way into his body, taking control of his every thought and action. As the demons worked to fully possess Jack, his best friend Sarah and girlfriend Maria noticed a significant change in his behavior. He became irritable and aggressive, and he no longer seemed like the kind, gentle person they knew. Sarah and Maria were determined to help Jack and rid him of the demons that had taken over his body. They began researching ways to exorcise the demons and seeking help from anyone who might have knowledge on the subject. After much searching and experimentation, they finally found a way to force the demons out of Jack's body. It was a long and grueling process, but in the end, they were successful. Jack was finally free of the demons that had taken over his body, and he was able to return to his normal life. However, he was left with a deep fear of the unknown and an appreciation for the power of good over evil. As the months passed, Jack tried to put the experience behind him and move on with his life. He returned to work at the convenience store and resumed his normal routines. But the demons had left a lasting mark on him. He found it difficult to shake the feeling that they were still with him, lurking in the shadows and waiting for the opportunity to take control of his body once again. Sarah and Maria did their best to support Jack and help him through the aftermath of the demon possession. They encouraged him to seek therapy and to talk about his feelings. Despite their efforts, Jack found it hard to open up about what had happened to him. He was haunted by the memories of the demons' control over his body and the evil things they had made him do. As the years went by, Jack became more and more isolated. He stopped hanging out with his friends and stopped dating Maria. He was too afraid of the demons returning and bringing harm to those he cared about. Eventually, Jack's fears and paranoia became too much to bear. He was consumed by the belief that the demons were still with him, and he couldn't shake the feeling that they were just waiting for the right moment to strike again. One fateful night, Jack snapped. He grabbed a kitchen knife and began frantically searching his home for the demons he was convinced were hiding in the corners and under the furniture. Sarah and Maria, alarmed by Jack's behavior, rushed to his home to try and talk him down. But it was too late. As they tried to approach him, Jack turned the knife on himself, convinced that the only way to rid himself of the demons was to end his own life. In the end, the demons had destroyed Jack's life and driven him to his own demise. Sarah and Maria were left to mourn the loss of their dear friend and to wonder what might have been if they had been able to find a way to rid Jack of the demons before it was too late.